So that's what we'll get for all these guys. So for our profile, we're going to need these user stat thing. We just fetched all the stats, so we're going to want the online stats and offline stats need to be separate objects. Alright. So we're going to need an fuser_stats reference, pointer stats. We're going to say it equals the address of info.onlinestats. So if, I guess we'll do offline stats. So if context equals text online, then stats equals the address of info.onlinestats. Okay, and then basically for every stat we need to have like some if here. So we could get an int for an enum and then switch off of the int. Hello, Enigma KR. Sorry, I did not see your chat until just now. Can you tell me the difference between a pointer and a namespace? I'm still trying to figure out if a pointer is just used when we have an instance and namespace is used when we have a static class. The two colons there are a namespace. So you're basically think about stuff in terms of like a pointer is kind of a different concept of the namespace. The namespace is kind of if everything was organized into, like if your code is kind of organized into kind of like a filing cabinet or something. Think of the namespace as in like, oh, this drawer is the player object. So it'd be like inside of the player object, like object. Access this thing, and so you can access static things. You're like, oh, inside of the player object there's this static method which is like get global player or get player 1 or something. You're like, all right, we can access that. And when you're accessing something with a pointer, you're actually accessing an instance of that. So so you could get like, okay, we want to get the global player, which is a global object, and it's an actual thing. So you're accessing on something that is now tangible, real memory, not just like code that operates on a global level. So when you dereference a pointer with the arrow there, you're actually accessing something on a person. So if you had a player, you could say like, okay, let's get that player's health, and that's how you would use the dereference operator there. So the namespace is kind of like an overall kind of a global thing that operates, within kind of a context, like a logical context versus like a pointer, which is operating not on like kind of a logical context. It's operating on like a physical object. So it's not like some like, oh, well, we're kind of, we're a part of a business that operates on players. It'd be like, no, we're the actual player, and we're operating on a physical object. So I think that's, hopefully that, like I'm a shitty teacher for some of those things, but hopefully that didn't make no sense. Alright, so get enum for string. I'm looking at these stats. I'm trying to see if they're the same, because I'm kind of going to need them to be the same if I want to do this. Where is our enums? I've only got one enum thing. Must have closed it. This is the enums inside of service definitions. I need the one game enums. Yeah, here we go. Alright, so we got loss row, score, TA, WL, WS, accuracy, time. I need these guys. Alright, so it's pretty much going to be these statics. I could call two functions. Can I just... Well, actually, I can just grab the enum here, so... So let's start working on it. Yeah, but that's a pretty basic question for programming. So when I see things like that, pretty much means, well, they're fundamentally different things. So something hasn't clicked yet in the mind for how the language works. And that's why they started us off with like C and then took us to stuff like C++ in college, because some of the concepts can be difficult to get all at once because some of them don't really make too much sense. Such as, it's difficult to explain the difference between like, well, this is like a logical construct versus this is an actual thing. And yes, this pointer does this thing as well, but now it's operating on a physical object, so now it has this implicit this pointer, which is inside of it, which is stored in this other memory that you don't get to see, but it's there, trust us. And that's kind of how it works. Don't worry about it, hand waving all around. It's like, well, all right then. Did I not have the colon on the end here? That's why if I was learning how to program all over again, I'd probably do it the same way, where they did C first, and they're like, look, they're functions, they operate on memory. That's all they do. And then the rest of it comes in and complicates stuff. Because if you start at too high a level, I think you start introducing more concepts at once then. Because machines are not smart. Machines are the dumbest goddamn things on the planet. So let's add some of these things that we don't have. So we got accuracy, win-loss, win score. Accuracy, time, jump, land, and obstacles touch. Alright. Let's try to get this thing. So it's 23 and then 7. Let's get this generated. Ow. Yeah, I remember some of those times in college, like freshman year when I was just learning how to program, spending like hours trying to figure out why the hell my program wasn't working, just for it to be, something absolutely idiotic, such as I didn't have a namespace on my fucking function. I just couldn't. How, how does this even work? You know? Alright, player touch kick. It's kind of ridiculous how all this stuff is just an endless series of data transformations. Because in one context you need it to look a certain way, another one completely separate way. And I don't know if Adam's streaming today. I guess not, if he's not online. That's not his usual. He must be doing something. I must have not followed along with whatever the hell he was up to. Let me see. What's he saying? Last weekend was that. Family thing on Sunday too, so probably won't be. Alright, so he's got a thing today, so Adam's not on. Alright, that makes sense. Well, I'm sure we've added those, but they haven't compiled yet. Okay, so we have now filled out all of our context stuff properly. Do we have an enum for, like a game enums for stat context? Yeah, we do. Alright. Alright, so we're just going to set this guy to start with to null planar, and then so we can just do these things and it'll work. String for enum. So everything should be filled out then, and we should be able to pass that then back to our event. So if we go to our platform manager, we should be able to go to the bottom. User stat profile updated is going to get thrown out there. So we need to listen for that event. Well, let's just compile and make sure it works to start with. Very good. Well, getting close. With this event here, illegal qualifier. Well, we should have EBS stat context. Okay, they're all in uppercase. That makes sense. Well, I'm glad I have some of this generation stuff in here at all. But it would have been nice if I had more time to do more stuff. But gosh, it's so... Where's the balance, right? Where's the balance of getting stuff done and building tools and infrastructure? Because you can build tools and infrastructure forever. And at the end of the day, if... How do you know you're building the right tools and infrastructure? You're like, all right, we built all these systems so we can build bridges faster. And you're like, awesome, cool. By the way, they're bridges for guinea pigs. And you're like, oh shit, guinea pigs? Well, shit, I guess we didn't need any of those street signs then, did we? Like, no, they can't really read. Also, they poop everywhere. Oh. Alright, well, I guess we'll have to build a better drainage system. Alright, so this needs to be a static function. So, let's go change that. Sir, the people from Argentina are here. They ate all the guinea pigs. Ah, shit. Simple enough. The user stat profile is supposed to have a little bit more than that. It's supposed to have an account on it. There's supposed to be an account on the user stat profile. Yeah, there's definitely an account here. So we need the username as well. Alright, let's see if we got it all filled out for at least our user for this one screen. Alright, let's put it up and see if we got our information. Let's look at our stats. Alright, so we've got it, and our info is, we have an account ID. There's our ID and our username. Our online stats are all zip, because we don't have any. And our offline stats are looking like we actually got them all properly set. What a concept. Alright, so we can actually start implementing things. Okay, so we need to register for the event. So the stats profile screen needs to register for the profile updated event. How do we do that? Let's look at our UI that actually registers for events. They'll be in our game widgets. Yeah, it's this reg event stuff. Alright, so stats, profile screen, reg event, this user profile updated. And what is this going to be with this event? It's going to be .info. And that's going to be our user stat profile, which is going to be this guy. This is not game players updated, it is user stat profile updated. Excellent. So let's do it. Okay, so the other thing we need to do is this user stats. I think this is an object. Let's just go check out our generated crap here. Wait, do we still have some of the external shit? Alright, yeah, we can take out data tables. I need to write that down. Take out data tables. Because that's trash we don't need. Alright, so inside of generated objects, user stats. Yeah, so we need one of these. So var stats is new f user stats profile. Okay, so we're going to do stats.account id equals 55 stats.account username equals some username. Alright, so what we're going to do then is stats.online stats. So we'll just have all these things in here. I'll just copy paste the absolute hell out of them for placeholder information so we can have something to look at when we load this screen in Chrome. And for these guys, we need to cut and paste this. And replace that. It's not account.online, it's just online stats. Ah, this is a mess. Alright. I'm not ready to lose my mind yet. Alright, so that should fill absolutely everything out, and then we can call this same function for ourselves. And then we can set all of our stuff on our screen. Okay, so the other thing is we could replace absolutely all these with some sort of stat array of stuff, which we probably should. Okay, so I need to add all these things to this array. And I can actually just grab them from down here. And the idea basically is they'll have something that we can iterate over for when we don't have something, and we can easily just replace absolutely everything with some question marks. So it's real obvious that no data has been loaded, as opposed to having to go through, copy, paste everything. Just put a little dash in there for all those. Otherwise, we need to do absolutely everything here. Okay, so we need to set the username to our profile account user. Alright, so this will be profile online stats dot. Do we have score? Yeah, there it is. Score. Offline stats score. Alright, win loss. Okay, so this will be our win loss. It's going to be matches, so matches played. And then we'll have wins. We'll have our win in row, goals, and own goals. Okay, so that should do all of our main stats. Our substats are going to be a little different. Our substats are going to be basically a vertical bar. So it goes online, offline, or what? Yeah, online, offline. Okay, so ball punch stat? What about player touches? We don't have an overall player touches. Alright, so this will be player touch punch. Ball touch punch. Alright, this will be ball touch kick. This will be slide. This will be pop up. This will be ground pound. Okay, this is ground pound air. And this is the wall hit stat. Wait, what the fuck? We don't have wall hits for both of these things. Player into wall, ball into wall. I mean, they're the same damn number. What the hell? Alright, obviously we're going to need a different stat here. What would be a different stat that we could do that's per player? We could just do the total. Just ball touch and player touch and just be just do a total of it. Why the hell not? Alright, let's see if we have any errors in our code. Cannot read property of reg event. Probably because we copy pasted the wrong crap. Alright, good. We're supposed to... Are these all random numbers? Yeah, okay, it looks like it's all random numbers. Looks like it's all working. It's all hooked up. Some username. Everything else. No issues. Let's boot up and see if we actually load up our stats then. So all our online stats are going to be zip. Our offline stats. So it's saying no ground pounds. Overall score is 128. Win-loss 100%. Matches played, matches won. Win streak goes scored 3. Alright, let's go get some more. Let's just go punch the hell out of somebody and see what we got. Let's get every single attack. Get wrecked, bitch. Yeah, that's how you score it. Little shitlord. Let's get an own goal. Is he coming? He's coming. Get the fuck out of here, man. Oh, that crazy motherfucker. He's gonna get me. Nine seconds. Fuck. I missed it, but I still won. Alright. Let's check out our stats. My overall score is 251. Win-loss is 100%. 2 matches played. Win streak of 2. Goals scored 5. Own goals 1. And we've got 20 punches. Kicks. I can't tell what the fuck any of these are. But it looks like we're not getting ball, ground pound, grounds. Is that right? Because we got ground pound, ground for that guy. So let's go see if we look at our stats. Ground pound, ball touch, ground pound, air, player touch, ground pound. So I want to go make sure I can do a ground pound, ground for a ball touch. So ground pound, ground. So let's be off center and let's finish the match. shit out of him. That bitch. Back here. Yeah, that's how we do it. Force it in. You can't win, but I'm better than you. So, goals scored 8, own goals 1, win streak is 3, matches won 3, win loss 100%. Overall score 357. We still do not have ball touch ground actually getting registered. And we don't have player touch error. Alright, so what I want to do is I want to see if we're... No pop-ups on players. Well, that makes sense. So this would be checking our player. So we need to go to the ground pound ability. Okay, so if we hit the ball, ground pound ball, so ground pound ball. Oh, we're not even hooking up a condition here, so this needs to be, if we're on ground, do this. So this is what, ground pound ball? We probably need to go into ground pound player. Check the same thing. Because we've got these, is what it looks like. So let's beat this match. I need to get good at those straight punches. Come on. Nice. Alright, so we're getting some of those. So I need to test the ground pound air against a user. So let's go see what that looks like for the logic object. On hit player, ground pound player on ground. On ground is going in here, and on ground is used. So supposedly, if on ground is true, we're going to use that. So I want the accuracy stat to show up here. Like, we definitely want accuracy here. And let's make sure our win-loss ratio works. Nice. And we lost. No. Yeah, definitely accuracy needs to show up here. So let's go take a look at this. 80% win-loss. Win streak is 0. Goal scored 11. Own goals 4. Awesome. So we have total touches 129. Alright, so if we're going to do accuracy, let's pull that up. So the question is, alright, how important is accuracy? I think it should be right after win-loss ratio. Ratio? What kind of English is that? Well, let's see what our accuracy was. Accuracy of 51%. Not bad. Looks like it's working pretty well then. Alright, well, I will be back